Hello everyone, Ember here, and welcome back to a new video. And in this one, I'm going to be taking a look at a Dipplin budget deck from the set Journey Together. So Dipplin is certainly a deck that has been around for quite a while in the TCG. I remember doing a video for this when it first came out, and it did actually get a buff in a more recent set, Prismatic Evolutions, which was this Seaking, which, to be honest, I'm still not very sold on Seaking, but it has seemed to be working out for a lot of other people, so I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, Seaking is effectively the same effect. Like if you have a Festival Grounds stadium in play, you can attack twice, which is great. However, Rapid Draw is only doing 60, so 120 for a colorless and then draw 4 cards. You know, it's yeah, it doesn't strike me as particularly great, but you do get to draw 4 cards. So at the very least, you know, you're putting pressure on your opponent to follow it up with things like Iono, for example. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I didn't really feel like making a Seaking Dipplin video when Prismatic Evolutions was a thing, mainly because I didn't really have a lot of time in my life, to be honest, but also because there was another card that I really thought would be added in Prismatic Evolutions, and for some reason they delayed it, and they moved all this like additional stuff from Japan onto our Journey Together set. So one of those cards is, of course, Lilligant, and Lilligant has the ability Sunny Day, which says attacks used by your grass Pokemon and fire Pokemon do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Now, as far as I can tell, this ability does actually stack, so if you really wanted to, you could run multiple Lilligant. But, you know, just be careful because you want to make space for all these other Stage 1 Pokemon, such as Rabsca, which is basically just your version of Manaphy, because, of course, we don't have Manaphy until we get the new Shaman, I think it is, in a Destined Rivals, so a bit of a while yet until Shaman. So we want some kind of protection against Dragapult and, you know, Zacian is a big one as well on the ladder. So we have very little HP in this deck, like 80 HP, for example. So, you know, Zacian can be a bit of a pain and they'll just take multiple prize cards. Of course, they can still like boss KO Rabsca, but, you know, if that happens, you just try and set it up again as fast as possible. But, you know, sometimes you can't really do much against Zacian, especially when they have resistance to grass, which does not help. The other stage one we play is this Thwackey. So Thwackey says, once in your turn, if your active Pokemon has the Festival Lead ability, so either Seaking or your Dipplin, you can just search your deck for a card and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So the most common misconception with this deck that I've seen is that you need to have a Festival Grounds Stadium in play in order to use this ability. It's the other way around. It's a bit weird. But basically, the Stadium is only necessary for your attackers. You don't need the Stadium for Thwackey. So all you really need is Dipplin or Seaking in the active spot, and then you can use Thwackey, and then you can attack twice if you have a stadium in play. The Festival Grounds ones, I should say. So yeah, Festival Grounds, each Pokemon that has any energy attached, both yours and your opponent's, recovers from all special conditions and cannot be affected by any special conditions, which is really cool. Some kind of insurance, I guess, against like these weird Petrant decks that are like going around the ladder a fair bit, I guess, but to be honest, not like the greatest stadium in the world, but at least it doesn't buff any other deck, really. So, and we don't play special conditions, of course. So, yeah, no, that's quite nice to see. And yeah, as for Dipplin, what does Dipplin actually do? Well, Do the Wave does 20 damage for each of your bench Pokemon, which, of course, isn't that impressive, but Festival Lead does mean we can attack twice. So if there are turns where, like, we do a whole ton of damage by attacking twice, then the following turn, we might be able to finish off that Pokemon and then attack into something fresh, basically. That's like the main appeal of Dipplin. You can also like stack damage modifiers on this, of course, like Vitality Band, for example, for plus 10 damage, which is really nice. I think there's maybe one more damage modifier. Okay, yeah, so Kieran. So plus 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX or V, which, yeah, V's are gone now, but still plus 30 against EXs. This also acts as a switch, so, you know, if you wanted to play, I think it's called Karate Master, I think the card is called. I probably can just pull it up here, actually. Yeah, Karate Master, I think is... Never mind. Is it Black Belt's Practice? That might be the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, Black Belt's Training. Okay, that's what I got translated as. So this is just plus 40 damage to your opponent's Pokemon EX. So, like, that's kind of cool. Like, it just depends. Would you rather have, like, the built-in switch effect minus 10 damage? But, you know, that's an option, basically. But yeah, sometimes Thwackey can maybe get stuck in the active spot with 2 retreat cost, which is, it can be a bit annoying to, you know, pay for. So that's just a quick overview of the deck. Nothing too crazy. My preferred A spec is Maximum Belt, but this list was playing the Hyper Aroma, so I'm going to try that out today. And yes, remember power, and yeah, thank you for watching. Okay, so we didn't have such a bad going second turn. We're able to get 10 damage on Pheasantipity with Budew, which does mean we'll actually need one less modifier to actually KO Pheasantipity in the first place, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, they do have a very annoying ability, Adrena Pheronome, so there's just a 50% chance they might not just, take any damage, which is really frustrating, but hopefully we will be able to, of course, damage them, but yeah, we'll have to see. My opponent also chose not to use Moonlight Hill, actually. I guess didn't have an energy in hand, but that's fine. I will... Actually, I could attack with Seaking if I wanted to. But Seaking's not actually going to give us enough damage if he flips 2 heads, so I think I'm going to have to try Dipplin here. Yeah, I'm going to have to try the Dipplin out. Okay, so I'm going to Arven. And I need to check if Hyperspace Aroma was actually there in the deck as well, because that's kind of big here. So, yes, okay, so we did get the Hyper. That's cool. I will get Vitality Band. And then we just need a Applin, really, and Thwackey, and maybe like a Seaking, I guess. Although, to be fair, if we just get like all the Thwackeys out, we can just start getting set up properly. So I think it's correct just to get 2 Thwackey. So I'll get a Dipplin, and then I'll get 2 more Thwackey down. And then once we have Dipplin out, we can just use Thwackey's ability to get a Stadium, which is one of the things we do need this turn. That's kind of important. So then these 2 can evolve. Got a bit of lag going on, unfortunately. And then that one can evolve. Now, currently, we're not actually doing a whole lot of damage. I think we're only doing like 80. Yeah, so we do need a bit more here. For starters, we need the Stadium. That's a big one. So we need a basic and a Stadium, realistically. So we'll kick things off by getting Festival Grounds. This will also contribute to one of my challenges, which is great. So put that into play. And then we just want to go get another Pokemon. So I will Boom Boom Groove. And I could set up another Applin line, I guess. Might make things a bit safer. But I think I'm just going to go for the Petal. So I would like to showcase Lilligant in a video, hopefully. So at some point, at the very least. If not in today's video, then a future video. So we'll get that down. And then at this point, we're doing 100. So throw a Vitality Band on the active. I won't attach energy because I'm not sure who I want to attack with next turn. And then I'll just do the wave. Now, hopefully, this goes through. If not, then we'll KO this. But, well, they need 2 heads, basically. So they got 1 heads. We'll see if Fate awards them again with another attack. So I get to attack again. Yes, I would absolutely like to attack again, please. So hopefully they get Tails here. Please get Tails. Yes, do the wave. It's my only attack. Tails. Yes. Okay, cool. Hopefully they don't have too many more Pheasantipities, because that's really annoying. It's a really annoying ability to have in this matchup. So yeah, we get a prize card, which is going to be a Counter Catcher. Okay, so not super useful just yet, but if we ever fall behind in prizes for any reason, then that's fine. So they are going to respond in kind with their own KO, which is, yeah, that's absolutely fine. And assuming they didn't bench anything, we could maybe go for like a 2-shot on this, but we would need a bit too much, I think. Like, we'd need a Kieran, so yeah, they're going to Ultra Ball anyway. Is this like a Mewtwo Xatu deck, potentially? Don't see one of these every day. So have discarded a bunch of energy. I'm assuming they also play things like Monkey Dory if they're running Crispin. It's an interesting deck, at least. Something different from a Sea of Zacians. Okay, so just another Mewtwo. So yeah, this is probably just going to come in here and use Photon Kinesis. which is absolutely fine. Or not, he's just going to go for the transfer charge. Okay, that's fair. So at this point, I can try and go for a Kieran play, I think, which I think is correct in this situation. Although, wait, do I even need Kieran now that I've got Lilligant? I don't think I do, right? Because how much am I doing per attack now? Quite a bit. 130. Okay, so no, I don't need Kieran at all. All right, that's cool. So I'm going to use Boom Boom Groove. Go get a Dipplin. It's quite nice. So then we can use another Thwackey to get something else. And I suppose I may as well KO the one with the EXP share on. I don't think it matters too much in this matchup. So like we could just save the boss for later, but I think I will just KO the one with an EXP share. I suppose I could just wait. Like, it's not super critical I do it right now. I'll just get a Seaking out. Yeah, I'll get Seaking. Seaking's fine. Oh, I should probably have mentioned in the deck profile that Goldeen also has Festival Lead. So as long as you have Goldeen or Seaking out, you can use Thwackey. So that's cool in the active spot. But yeah, attaching the grass energy down here, I guess, because we want to keep using Dipplin. Counter Catcher is a bit useless, but we don't want to discard anything else in this hand. So we shall do the wave. So this will do 260 across 2 attacks. So another 2 prize cards, which is nice. Very nice. And yeah, I want to attack again. For some reason, it always makes you choose do the wave, like as if Dipplin has a different attack, which is really weird. Like you'd think the way it was programmed in, it would just automatically do it, but it doesn't really matter too much, I guess. So yeah, that one gets a 3rd energy. I suppose it's correct to boss because now like they don't have to attach to this one, they can just start attaching to a different Mewtwo. But okay, Rescue Board is actually really nice. Probably just put this on, well, I guess either Lilligant or Seaking. Maybe the Seaking actually, just so it's a pivot, but so I don't have too many switching options in this deck. But we are kind of in the lead a bit at this point. So I'm still optimistic. Opponent plays a Max Rod, interesting A-Spec. Will allow them to get back their Pheasantipity, which is really annoying. So, okay, that's a bit excessive. Like, you don't need... Okay, fairs. I guess maybe they didn't want to play out the match. I'm assuming they're going to concede after taking this prize card, because otherwise they would have just benched it. But, yeah, that's fairs, I guess. I still think I need another basic, but I mean, I have Rellor in hand, so yeah. Just Vitality Band up the active one, and then bench a Rellor. And that'll be that. That'll actually be that. So yeah, nice and simple game. Pretty good way of showcasing how things get set up and just what you're aiming for, really. But yeah, with Maximum Belt, you would be able to like get even higher with the damage with Lurantis. But sorry, not Lurantis. Lilligant, that's the one. But yeah, Hyperspace is still pretty cool, though. Yes, I would like to attack again. So yeah, I guess they didn't want to play out the match, but Pheasantipity in their deck can be really annoying, so I'm glad we were able to get through that pretty quickly. And then I think this is going to make me choose 2 more prizes. Yes, still doesn't do this automatically, really should do. But yeah, that's been Iono Power, and yeah, thank you for watching.